Okay, let's talk about elves. I really, really like this Chord of Calling version that I have. I really like the Chord of Calling version. I wanted to main deck a Spellskite though. I wanted to main deck a Spellskite to Chord of Calling for. And I wasn't sure what to cut for it. I think it was either going to be like the 8th 1 mana elf, the 2nd Ezuri. I don't think you can cut the 2nd Ezuri. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut the 8th Elvish Mystic for the main deck Spellskite. So yeah, I know one of the Force Mark. I hate that card so much. That card is so awful. I know you have one Yavimaya, but that card sucks so much. Okay, so I know a lot of the Elves players, they're like, I want to play Collected Company instead of Chord, but it's like, I think with 4 Realmwalker, 4 Leaf Crown Visionary, you have so much card advantage, and Chord of Calling can also get you one of those cards to be card advantage. And with 4 Dwynen's Elite, 4 Elvish Warmaster, Chord of Calling is very like nice on the mana curve too. It is something that costs you very, very little as well, and it's like it can be like if you have Elvish Archdruid, you can Chord for Ranger, untap your Archdruid, you get to go kind of crazy. If you're going off with, if you're like glimpsing with Leaf Crown Visionary, Quirion Ranger also like is like a win condition where if you've tapped all your non-summoning sick elves, we did this one time, it's so convoluted, but you can just kind of draw your deck and make a ton of mana with Leaf Crown Visionary, and so like having one Quirion Ranger to Chord for lets you activate Ezuri a bunch or just attack for 20 with like one elf, which is very goofy, but I think lets you keep the deck without a black splash for Shaman in the pack. I think Shaman's kind of like is fine, but kind of win more. Mirror Entity. Why would you play Mirror Entity over Ezuri? I've tried some lists with -1 Realmwalker, +1 Finale, and liked it a lot when I drew it. Yeah, Finale is so there are also builds that are playing like Devoted Druid, Vizier, Finale, which I think those are interesting. But I really like this build. This is the build I believe in, and I there's certainly like a lot of wiggle room and like different ways you can build it. And okay, we'll keep this on the play. I'm trying to get this on the Goldfish link, I guess. The people have been demanding elves, so I guess we're playing elves today, huh? Do you think playing a 5-color Karth the Leyline deck with Leyline Binding could be a decent brew? When you're playing Karth the Lion, it seems like you're usually reliant on like Oath of Nissa, maybe Interplanar Beacon to fix your mana for Planeswalkers. Doesn't seem like a good shelf for Leyline Binding to me. Okay, up against Amulet, which is a very interesting matchup. If we draw a land here, I'm feeling great actually. Okay, did not draw the land. Am I supposed to go Heritage Druid into next turn, Warmaster Druid, Archdruid win on turn 4? I don't think this hand is not winning. This hand is going to win on turn 4 no matter what. This seems like the best line. Oh, my opponent did mulligan. They mulled a 4. So hopefully they don't have the turn 3. I think you can play Warmaster. I think it's better to play this way because we get the Warmaster trigger next turn anyways. Although I think both lines probably end up like exactly the same. Ooh, okay. Well, they've got Bounce Land. They have Bounce Land, Titan, Good Beats. So I guess we go. I don't think this really matters, but. Just as long as the net result here is Archdruid in play with the ability to just totally kill them next turn with Ezuri. Warmaster first. It doesn't matter. Warmaster only triggers once a turn. It's going to trigger this turn. The end result is this board. Plus, got 3 cards, Bounce and Titan. Probably good enough for a win, though. Opponent plays a forest. Plays an expedition map. And passes. Okay. Optimistic of my opponent to not concede here. I don't think I need to really think about very much besides just Ezuri, activate. This is so lethal. Okay, on the draw against Titan. A matchup that, you know, it's hard to feel too bad in any matchup where your opponent is just not playing almost any removal. I'll be playing Force of Vigor and Reclamation Sage. I'll be cutting the Spell Skite. I think that it also makes sense to me to maybe trim like 1 Leaf Crown Visionary, and I think Realmwalker is a bit better as a card advantage engine, and like 3 Dwynen's Elite. You should use the Nettle to tap for 3. Well, if I use the Nettle to tap for 3, I'm tapping 2 other elves, which is like 6 less damage. I know that it untaps, but I have to tap 2 elves as part of the cost. I'm not just tapping that for the 3 mana. But it also doesn't matter. My opponent's at -17. They're Titan. They don't have anything. It's just a waste of time, I think, to like overthink that line and try to do anything else besides what I just did. Love to draw a Force of Vigor. Realmwalker seems worse than Dwynen's Elite. I think Realmwalker is nuts, especially against a deck that can't kill it. Maybe I should be holding the forest to fetch it away though, but I think Realmwalker's nuts. I don't think that Dwynen's Elite is like, I don't know, that good for racing. Like when we're racing, but we're trying to like combo kill our opponent, you know what I mean? I don't think that you like win that many races with just like dopey beatdowns. You could have cast your inherent hand on that turn if you cast Nettle with your forest and use Heritage Druid the card that's scan. You end up getting more net mana return by leveraging Nettle Sentinel as early as possible. Which turn are we talking about? The turn if you cast Nettle with your forest and use Heritage Druid to start the turn. I get to cast the Ezuri too. I just thought that I didn't have enough mana to cast the Ezuri, and that I wasn't presenting a kill until like the following turn anyways. Like, I don't know. At least in this match, like up against Amulet Titan, like it was very like clear, like if they didn't have the turn 3 win, I'm winning on turn 4. And like as soon as I like identified that, I stopped trying to do any like complicated elves math because it didn't seem like it mattered at all. Cancer, thank you for the raid. Welcome back. I believe your hand was a pretty bad keep on the draw. Maybe it was. Maybe it was. Seems like I'm going to lose. My opponent also, you know, has a very powerful hand on the play here. Hard to mulligan. Turn 2 Realmwalker against a deck doesn't kill Realmwalker, but maybe you're right. Surprised you didn't go for 2 Dorks to Chord for Sage this turn. 2 Dorks doesn't let me Chord for Sage this turn. I feel like this hand seemed like a reasonable keep. Mirrors for the 7 months. Yeah. This hand could have been a mulligan. We'll just go to game 3 and. This is definitely one of those like very linear matchups where obviously both players have some interaction, but for the most part it seems like we're just kind of goldfishing. And maybe it's like okay to bring in Collector Ouphe against explosives too. I cut the 4th Realmwalker. I think this is fine. I can Chord for it too in response to the explosives sometimes. One Magus. You could play a Magus in the sideboard. I'm gonna mulligan this, I think. You can play a Magus in the sideboard. Okay, what are we doing here? I'm going to keep this. I think I put back the Ezuri. I can Chord for it if I need it. Hopefully they have another Saga. Oh, sorry. I'm on to play this game. Yeah, you could play Magus in the sideboard. I think that might be fine. Kind of bad to draw without like playing a Stomping Ground, but you know, and then like Stomping Ground makes everything a little bit more weird, but you could do it. Kind of a tricky spot between playing Visionary and Elf. Maybe not that tricky. Maybe it's just clearly Elves to get set up for the Archdruid with the hopes that Force of Vigor slows them down. This isn't a Coco deck. Yeah, it's just like with Visionary Realmwalker, you have so much card advantage. Chord of Calling can also just like get one of those and be card advantage for you. I just haven't really felt like the Coco like makes the deck anymore. There's just like not room for it. It's been how I've been thinking of it. Okay, so I think I'll pitch the Ouphe now. Is that right? Yeah, I don't know. They would have probably explosives done one if they had it, right? Maybe not with the Vigor in play. Okay. Rough for them to have not. I guess they must have just drawn that, but I think it makes sense to still force in the upkeep here to try to slow them down. Them having, if they had another amulet, it was like really likely that they would have played it last turn. Opponent seems to have played around force really well here. So I can Chord for X Sage, kill Dryad. I feel like I'm almost like more likely to want to kill Amulet this turn. Because if I kill Dryad, they can still cast Titan if they have Bounce Land Titan. I guess they can cast Titan if they have Untap Land Titan, though. Can I go Leaf Crown Visionary, cast Archdruid? They need more green to cast Titan without Dryad. No, Dryad gives them green. I don't think I can draw a card first, right? Because I have to go Leaf Crown, 4 mana, Druid, 2 mana, draw a card, 2 floating. Then I have 1, 2, 3. I'm 1 short, so if I draw a land, or a 1 mana elf, I can do it. Doesn't Garibin get the Titan with Bounce Land in hand? Yeah, which is why I'm thinking about killing the Amulet, but if they just have untap land, they get to Titan with a Valakut in play. Point is killing Dryad makes it so they can't Titan next turn. If they have a... Oh, yeah, you're right. If they have green Bounce Land, they don't have enough green to filter into the castle. Okay, I guess that's just the clear line then. Yeah, like, unfortunately can't draw here. We don't have 20 damage, do we? uh, 9, 11, plus 7. That's 18. I guess they have a blocker anyways, but obviously you have a lot of outs here. Spike kept a hand without a second land drop. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it is like abundantly clear that my opponent played around Force of Vigor here, because I think if they like don't play around it, they're like either playing the second Amulet or the Saga on the previous turn. And I think that if they don't play around the Force of Vigor here, we're in much better shape. They did, and we're in much worse shape. Okay, so they get Dryad here. They have a second Summoner's Pact for a Boreal Grazer. Are they going to be able to pay for 2 packs here? I'm not dead, am I? Maybe I am. They get 6, 12, 18 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think they're short. Oh, they have Vesuva Valakut. Wait, no, I still have 6 toughness. This is 18 damage to me. I still have 6 toughness block here. Then they have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. They're going to die to their Pact. We win? Die to Grazer. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They need 8 mana. Woo! Alright. Opponent's on a mull to 6. I don't love this hand. This hand can definitely improve a lot. I think I'm gonna try it. Yeah, Mutate is my least favorite. It's just like, put this card on top or underneath that card. I'm like, what does that mean? there's just like no explanation on like what that means. What happens if like one of the creatures die? If the creature is killed by a removal spell? What happens if it's removed on the stack? What does that mean? Put it on underneath? Where's banding? I love banding. I think banding's sick. I don't know. I don't have strong feelings about banding. Yeah, against Hammer, it looks like. I think this Hammer's a pretty good matchup, actually. Mutate is super simple. Yeah, I think that, like, in Standard, at, like, surface level, it's super simple. But I think, like, a lot of the more intricate rules interactions are, like, really unintuitive. Or at least, like, you know... Like, I can't read them, and I can't, like, know, like, what happens. What happens if I kill the mutate creature? Does one stay? Does one live? I still don't know. What happens if you kill it on the stack? Is it, like, bestow, where the creature stays? It doesn't say. It's obviously, like, not that big a deal, but... I also just, like... The whole on top of or underneath thing is... Like, what exactly that means? Like, it doesn't really... as far as I can remember, at least, it just, like, doesn't say that on the cards. It doesn't say what that means. Okay, what are we doing here? I think getting Dwynen's Lead down for chump blockers is fine. Getting a mana elf into play also seems kind of like a priority, but I can cast the Archdruid anyways, just by bouncing a forest, replaying if I miss a land. It doesn't fizzle is the short answer. Yeah, okay, that's yeah. But yeah, again, it's just like I feel like that's it's such like a revolutionary like line of text. Put it on top of or underneath. It's like that is like so out of left field, I feel. And it's like and obviously like once you play with it a few times, I'm sure you get the hang of it, but the fact that there's like no like there's like just not even there's not like a text explaining what that means on the cards. I don't know. I'm a mutate hater. What can I say? I liked your blue affinity list with 8 drums and evidence. I got 1 evidence for Sai, Karn, Sign of Urza, or Tezzeret. Does this make sense? I like the hard evidence a lot. I think I'm pretty happy with like the number of payoffs I have. And if I was gonna play another payoff, I would probably want another cranial plating or Nettle Sentinel, whatever like numbers you're playing there, than like another 3 or 4 drop. I will say I think Sai is terrible. I think Sai is like by far the worst payoff you can play. No, I'll forever be a mutate hater. Okay, as long as we can dodge Shadow Spear, I'm feeling alright. Opponent's got 2 cards in their hands. I guess we can attack. So we go attack with both. Float 2 mana, untap the Dwynen's Leap, play Elvish Archdruid, which is not the most powerful turn. Ooh, has anybody ever played Yavimaya? Yavimaya Urza Saga, Quirion Ranger? It's probably a little too many cards, huh? Any chance to see him play this list in the near future? I mean, just like any of the decks I've been working on that didn't get anything from the new set, I'm not super likely to work on anytime soon. Thought I hate Companion the most? No, absolutely not. I actually like... You might be confusing me with Doomwag. I think that the Companion mechanic is not inherently evil. I think that like 60% of them are really poorly designed, and like 40% of them are like some of the sweetest cards in Magic. But like if all the companions were like Obosh, Gyruda, maybe Zerda, maybe not Zerda. Zerda probably still playing a Legacy, but maybe that's fine. But like Lutri, Obosh, Gyruda, Umori, I think are like 4 of the sweetest cards in Magic, and I think that Gigantha, Kihira, Luris, Yorion are like abominations, or at the very least like should never have been printed in their current form. So they're going for Shadow Spear instead of Cauldron here. They could have just got another hammer instead of the Cauldron, right? Anyway, Coco versus Realmwalker. I think Realmwalker's like just what I like about playing Realmwalker over Coco. Like one thing I would never want to play the cards separate from each other. I think the two cards play really well together. But like I like having the curve be lower by playing Realmwalker. Realmwalker is super powerful. It provides so much card advantage. More card advantage with Coco if you untap with it, but obviously untapping with it is the hard part. But I think, in my opinion, when you're playing Elves, keeping that mana curve low is super important. Okay, so Quirion Ranger being able to untap Archdruid is definitely our hope to win this turn or this game. There's 3 classes of companion: unplayable, free roll, and broken. To be honest, I put the free roll ones in the broken category. I think the fact that I don't know, those like the fact that like those cards are free rolls, the Karuga and the hold on, sorry. The Kihira and the Gigantha, like those being free rolls are so bad for the game, I think. Okay, so what are we doing here? Obviously, like, we're going to need to go off with Leaf Crown Visionary. Do we go Leaf Crown Visionary, Return Forest, untap Archdruid, cast Llanowar Elves, tap 4? I guess so. I guess we just start with the Visionary. Yeah, they had the kill and they messed it up, but we'll try to capitalize. Maybe not able to. All right, so untap this, return here. So the only one Quirion Ranger in the deck, but you're also not in this situation all that often. Start off with the 1 mana Elves. We need to find Heritage Druid pretty badly. I guess I'll go Dwynen's Elite, pay. We could figure it out, Rip, or maybe Mod could let me know. Okay, thank you. Just let me focus on this real quick. It's also possible I could just get enough toughness in play to survive. I need to find a Heritage Druid or Chord for Heritage Druid, or we're going to be toast here. Right on time. Right on time. Also great to have a Nettle Sentinel in play. I've already hit my land drop for the turn. All right, 1, 2, 3. Do I want to play another Visionary? I think I should. Draw a card. Now we're looking for more copies of Nettle Sentinel to try to go through the deck. What is... Okay, I don't know why the tapping was so weird there. Let me go always yes, always yield. Draw a card. And am I supposed to go... I think I'm probably just supposed to keep casting the 1 mana Elves. Chord of Calling, also good draw just to get another Nettle Sentinel into play. Come on, Nettle Sentinel. There we go. I guess I'll spin the green draw card this here. Could be correct not to in that spot. 100% sure. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. So I'm going to really prioritize keeping at least as many non-summoning stick creatures untapped as I can. So let me go 3... I'm not here. It's maybe a little weird. I'm actually just not gonna draw. Yeah, not gonna draw. So that I can. Well, maybe I can. Just have one untapped creature. Hold on. So I'll untap these 2 Nettle Sentinels. Then I'll go with 1 green floating, be able to chord for another Nettle Sentinel. 2, 3. Untap 2 Nettle Sentinels. 3 mana, Elvish Warmaster, draw 2. Yeah, this should be good. Okay, Warmaster. I hate that I have to like auto yield to this, right? Always yes. Always yes. Draw. Draw. Yeah, I cast a lot of spells this game, huh? Okay, there's my Ezuri. Maybe I should be, maybe I should have been prioritizing casting Realmwalker. Let me do that this turn, actually. I also get to trigger the Warmaster, so that I've got, you know, another charged up here. I think I'm not going to draw. Ezuri is our Tendrils of Agony. So the goal now is to make enough mana to Ezuri and kill with these 2 this turn. These are 9 power, so I'm going to need... My opponent's going to be at 16. Each activation is 6, so I need 3 activations. What do I hear? Isn't he just dead to double activation equip on the Ink Moth? I'm going to win this turn is what I'm... is what you're missing, I think. Stand by. Okay, so seeing there's a land on top, let me go activate these 3. Oh, they have the lifelinker. Maybe I'm not going to win this turn. Right. Stand by. Two green floating. Not doing a good job of finding elves off the top either. The Lords changed the math a little bit. Okay, there's a woman elf. Ezuri gives better pump ratio than Warmaster? Yeah, by a lot. No, we don't play Crater Hoof. I mean, like, you're just, like, not in these spots often enough, I feel like, to need to, like, dilute your deck with the Crater Hoof. Obviously, it's, like, you know, good in these spots. But, we'll be able to deal, like, you know, a ton of damage also, but the fact that my opponent has a giant life linker is somewhat of a unique situation. Okay, I don't love that my opponent has a... or sorry, that I just have another Windswept Heath on top. I think I'm supposed to... I guess just play Archdruid. Boseiju? Oh, I have Boseiju. Oh, Boseiju, sick. Okay. Yeah, that's a big game. I need to find freaking elves on the top. Do I just not have elves left in the deck, though? So I can't tap this Nettle Sentinel. I'll Boseiju the Spear. Don't worry. We'll get around to it. So many lands. But I think that enough of the rest of my deck should be elves at this point that I think we're gonna be fine. Sorry on the deck tech. You picked kind of a bad time. I'll get around to it. I haven't forgotten. We talked about the RCQ earlier. It didn't go that well. I was really happy with my list, or like pretty happy with it. I thought it was like a nice techie mono blacklist where it's like you're really good against like Rakdos and you have a lot of equity against the rest of the format like Rakdos does. And I ended up just like having some bad beats where I mulled to 5 twice against Elves. Or sorry, I mulled to 5 game 1 and I had like an awkward mull to 6 where it's either like I keep the like, awkward hand or go to 5, and they had like a really good draw to play games 1 and 3, and then I lost to Lotus Field, which is just such a nightmare matchup, and even then they even like I even thought I was gonna win, but they had like pretty nutty draws. Draw. So we might actually have enough damage here. Hold on. I have I guess do I have enough to just triple activate? No, I think I need more. I think we should be able to get there. It's gonna be close. So for those of you who aren't following along, because this is I'm sure pretty tough to follow along with. Did I no to the Nettle Sentinel? Okay, so I can go plus 6 mana, 22. I need 1 mana to channel onto Boseiju. They're effectively at, what, 30, 37? 37, so I can pump these 4 times. This is currently 17 plus 6 times 4, 12, 24. 17 plus 24 is 39. Again, we calculate my opponent's at 37, so this should be enough. Boseiju the hammer, not the spear. Well, I guess that's better, huh? Let me just draw 1 card. Okay. This should be enough. We'll just do it. Both of them is yeah, getting rid of the hammer should make this easily enough. I know this is convoluted, but I also just like don't know that you need more than this. Oh, hold on. What if they have a second hammer though? I guess it doesn't matter. They would have killed me last turn. Yeah, they don't have a second hammer. Oh wait, I can't activate 4 times. I thought I could activate 4 here. Maybe I know spending that 1 green didn't matter. Right, so this is 3 activations right now. 17 plus 18 is 35 minus 3. Yeah, this is fine. Where's my Ezuri? Oh, Ezuri's not in play. That's why the Boseiju costs 2. I thought for sure the Ezuri must have been in play at this point. I didn't realize the Ezuri just wasn't in play. Okay, well, this is fine though. These triggers, I feel like I've always yes to these Sentinels. They just stop always yesing. Yeah, Ezuri's mana positive. So this is like the 2nd or 3rd time like we've been in this kind of position where we get to draw our entire deck, and it takes a long time, but we are able to win. We are able to win. It just takes forever. And I feel like not diluting the deck with like any dopiness is good. But maybe if you're a slow clicker, maybe this deck's not for you. But yeah, we've been pretty consistently able to do this on the turns where we just draw our deck. It just takes forever. It's like I just don't want to play an 8-drop in my deck, you know, when I don't need it to win the game. Okay, we got deck tech. Sorry it took so long. Wizards and Pioneer. I was talking about this with Everos yesterday. I think it's very tough to build. One thing I will say is that I have been kind of hating Opt in the Prowess decks lately, where I don't feel like you need Opt to enable Treasure Cruise because your curve is so low. I'm wanting to play more burn spells in general. So like in this list specifically, I would really like to play Reckless Rage over Opt to just have access to more removal. Although I guess Reckless Rage doesn't work with your Young Pyromancer. But maybe I would be interested in doing something like 4th Infantry over like 4th Pyromancer or 3rd Balmor, just because I think the Wizard, being a Wizard, is very important. But I've been just kind of hating Opt in the Prowess list in Pioneer lately. Why not splash 1 Shaman in the pack? I mean, I think that this game should have done a good job showing you why I'm not splashing 1 Shaman in the pack, right? I just get to win here without making my deck less consistent and like have worse mana. You know what I mean? I don't need a Shaman in the pack. I could just win like this. I know that it takes forever, but I'm okay with taking forever. I'm a fast clicker. Jeff, 13 months, Mark with the 12. I think Twinferno sucks. I would never play this card, I think. I've been really unimpressed by it. I think people are getting a little lost in the sauce with it. I would also play, like, I would play 18 lands, not 16. So, like, the 2 Twinferno for 2 lands. I would play the 4th Infantry, I think, over 3rd Balmor. I would play Reckless Rage, Overconsider. I know it doesn't work. It actually isn't bad with Young Pyromancer because you can just target a token, actually. Yeah, that's fine. Also with like Upwood Mine too, like just like consider Opt, Upwood Mine Cruise. Just too many like cantrips that don't impact the board. Not enough burn is my opinion. Just fill out the rest of the reefs. Sideboard seems somewhat standard, although I'll say I don't think you really need a Braid for opposing hearses if like your only graveyard card is Cruise. So I feel like you can afford to not play that card and maybe play like 2 more Disdainful Strokes or play some Aether Gust for the mono green matchup. Also been kind of liking Pithing Needle and Pioneer lately. Okay, sorry it took so long on the deck tech. I'm going to mulligan this on the draw against Hammer. Going to keep this on the draw against Hammer, putting back a fetch land. Not asking sarcastically, just 1 Shaman, 1 Evergood Tomb really diluted that much. It doesn't dilute it very much, but like why dilute it? Why dilute it if you're able to win from this spot? You know what I mean? Like I know that it takes a long time to click through this combo. And I know that like it can be kind of frustrating, but if you're able to win from these spots, why do you need to play Shaman of the Pack, which is kind of a win more card, you know? A card that's I don't think you need a card that's only good when you're drawing your deck and have as much mana as you want if you're just able to win from those positions almost all the time anyways. I want to talk about Gaia's Anthem. I've played Gaia's Anthem in this archetype in the past. I think it's fine. I think that's fine. Rip, thank you for 17 months. Appreciate you. What turn was last game? I think it was turn 4. We stumbled a little bit, to be honest. Okay, so they're going to have Metalcraft. So I don't think it makes like a lot of sense to Rex Sage, Shigardizade or anything. I think we just cast the Archdruid. I guess I could have gone Heritage Druid, Ranger, Archdruid. Yeah, sorry, that was better. I blame Ross. I think you ripped on for the 7 months. Yeah, I've been working on the Prowess deck a bunch too. Like I was kind of memeing on myself yesterday, and like obviously other Izzet players too. But I'm like a big Izzet player in Pioneer. But yesterday I posted this. Izzet players in Pioneer, whenever there's a new 2-drop that gets printed that says, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, do X. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. But these decks are just really hard to build, and I don't know. It's very difficult to build. Very difficult deck to build. Okay, so they got Mantle. Scary. It's all of us as players, I think. That's all of us as players. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got kind of lost on the Sylvan Anthem question. I think Sylvan Anthem's good. I don't think that, but the reality is it's like Coco, Sylvan Anthem, Shaman of the Pack. They're all good cards, but you just don't have that many slots. You know what I mean? I don't know that you have enough room to play Sylvan Anthem. I guess obviously like the thing you can do is cut you could just cut your you would have to cut chords, but I think chord is just so good. Okay, we'll play Pendelhaven. Too bad I can't bounce my Rec Sage. Do I attack with my Llanowar Elves? I guess so. Seems fine. Then do a hammer on the Ornithopter no matter what. Kind of like Anthem as a one-up. Yeah, I think that would be like reasonable for sure. Don't you have to kill the 8 here so you don't die to another hammer? I think that I'm just kind of like content dying to another hammer and not having to chump block every turn. Like another hammer is really bad for me because they have the Paladin in play. I think this is like the way higher upside line. Winding Way. Yeah, Winding Way is a card that I think just is not what I'm super interested in Modern anymore. Okay, let's I think just slam with the team. They don't have 7 power in play currently. This is like 18 damage if the block 2. If you type exclamation point deck, there should be an MTG Goldfish link. The Stream Decker, which is usually what we use to host everything, is down, but the Goldfish link is the Elves currently. I also have 2 blockers with the Quirion Ranger. Not that that matters very much against Double Giver. Yeah, it's the Scry plus Sylvan. The Scry with Anthem Realmwalker is nice, but it's also true with the new card, Leafcrown Visionary. You have a lot of Lord effects already, and so it's like you have a lot of Lord effects. So I don't know that you also like get that much value off the Sylvan Anthem one, but maybe you do. I think that there's like I think Elves is really interesting. I think it's a very powerful deck. I think it's a deck with tons of flexibility and card advantage and speed, and it's a deck that I certainly would like to see more of. A deck to like. Would a Shia for the infinite mana combo be worth it? I think that last game does a really good job showcasing like my deck building philosophy when it comes to Elves. My philosophy that you don't need to play a Shia. You don't need to play you don't need to play a Shaman of the Pack. You don't need to play Craterhoof. You don't need to dilute your deck with cards with a high mana curve. You get to build the deck this way with a super low to the ground mana curve, Chord of Calling for a lot of flexibility and consistency and power, while also not having to like play any of those win more cards that are dead draws. Yeah, you just like and then you're going to be able to win the game on the turns where you have all those resources because you have 1 Quirion Ranger to untap a non-summoning stick creature and attack with Ezuri. Yeah, I agree that Shaman makes sense if you're on Coco, but at that point I think that's just like such a different build, you know. It's more fun to not be sure if you're able to win. Okay, I agree with that. Okay, I don't know what my opponent is on here. If they're on hammer, I'm dead. But if they had a hammer, like, how are they taking this long to kill me? I have no cards in my hand. So we won game 1 by drawing our entire deck, making like 30 mana by untapping Nettle Sentinel with Heritage Druid and like Realmwalker to be casting Elves from the top of our library. Made like 30 mana, had 2 creatures in play that were like one was like 8/8/9/9 because of all the lords in play. Just attacked for like 40. Okay, I'm gonna mulligan the 0-lander. Gonna keep the 2-lander. I'm gonna put back Chord with no Dwynen's Elite. Warmaster. This guy in the sideboard makes sense. Yeah. I think that could be fine. Although I think I kind of want to play test it a little bit more, and you'll definitely like get people to, which is maybe I try to get people too often. You know what I mean? But I do think there's some value in just like surprise spell scout, you lose the game against the interactive decks. Especially when like Elves is really good against the non-interactive decks anyways, for the most part. Alright, we're just thankful they didn't have Ren in 6. Gonna try to conceal my Cavern for now, but this looks to be Temur Scapeshift, a deck that plays Modern's best counterspell, Remand. The decision to play Archdruid or Realmwalker, it's actually probably not that close. It's probably just always Archdruid here. They didn't get a Trio end of turn, which is a bit odd to me. Ren in 6, I rebuke you. I cast you out. I ban you from Modern. Please, please don't Ren in 6. Please, please don't do it. I command thee. Oh, that's pretty bad too. Yeah, if they just have 2 lands in their hand, they're going to be machine gunning down my elves here. Nettle Sentinel is the card you're least excited to play? Dude, I love Nettle Sentinel. Nettle Sentinel's nuts. Or at the very least, like, I think it's very good with the new card, right? We beat the Hammer Time deck. We 2-0'd the Hammer Time deck. I think Hammer's actually, like, I don't know if this is, like, weird to say. I think Hammer's a good matchup for Elves. They just don't play removal against you. You're faster than them. And you have, like, better interaction against them than they have against you. It's almost certainly like a little bit more nuanced than that. I guess I could have drawn Boseiju. I'm just gonna concede though. It's definitely a little bit more nuanced than that, but I feel pretty comfortable in the matchup. 1 Rex Sage, probably not 2. I think I probably want I think these are probably enough protection spells. I don't need the Spell Skite. Gaddock Teeg to stop Scapeshift, of course. I usually reach for the Dwynen's Leap more. Maybe I should get a bit more comfortable trimming like a Llanowar Elves in sideboard games. Visionary is kind of bad against Ren in 6. Been trimming a Realmwalker a lot too. This looks kind of fine. I hate Nettle Sentinel. I'm really partial to that card, but maybe I have some biases towards it. I like this hand a lot. Is Teeg a reason to trim Chord? I don't think so, because I think that you're going to be cording for Teeg a lot, but I could definitely see the argument. So it's nuts if we draw land. Sentinel just like has all your nut draws, but I definitely understand not being the biggest fan. I think I wait to always yield, always yes till I have both triggers at the same time. Look, it attacks for 2 also. So 1 mana, 2/2. I do think that like Sentinel, like Nettle Sentinel Druid, like is like, especially with the Leaf Crown Visionary, just a really, really powerful plan and has so much synergy, you know. Just being able to like chord for Heritage Druid or Nettle Sentinel makes it a bit more consistent. So they shocked in Stomping Ground. I guess that means they have Fire Ice. Awesome, perfect. I know that this lets them Fire Ice the both Heritage Druids potentially, but I can chord for another Heritage Druid here if they just fire both of these. And this makes more mana also. Conceding. We'll take it, I guess. I guess they just feel like they punted. How do you feel about this hand? Not very good, probably. We're on the draw. We have a turn 1 elf. This hand is so cold to Ren in 6, but we're elves. What do you want? We have Quirion Ranger to untap our land, but if we're getting Temple Garden, that's pretty painful. We're probably getting Temple Garden. Hard matchup to mulligan too. I think I'm going to keep. It's a close hand. I guess I don't want to play Yavimaya and potentially fix their mana for like a turn 2 Red and 6. Alright, can we dodge the turn 2 Ren? Can you sack that fetch lane a little slower, opponent? A little slower, please. Give me some hope. Oh, man. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, this is such a sick draw. Maybe we should be playing more Mark of Asylums. Mark of Asylum, sick tech, just 2 mana. Your red removal does not work against your creatures. Or Valakids, for that matter. I'm right now playing 3 Forge-Tenders, 1 Mark. You could maybe switch those numbers like 2-2 or something. Yeah, no Fury either. Okay, well. Gonna play Archdruid, I think. Hopefully no remand. They might have cited out remands against me, though. Leyline Sanctity good on the board? So you go Mark Leyline and then they can't kill you with Valakut? Maybe. That's probably like a little narrow. They have Boseiju? They have Ice. Okay, upkeep Ice. I have Quirion Ranger to untap the Archdruid though, so I think this is going to be fine. So go Quirion Ranger. Elite. Valakut is colorless, but this doesn't prevent red. This says prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to creatures you control. So it doesn't specify only red. I don't need the Teeg here, I think, because they're just not gonna be able to scape shift me. Famous last words potentially. Oh, Leyline of Vitality. I think that's like the thing with Leyline of Vitality is like lightning bolts still kill your elves. They still kill your Archdruid. Fury is still going to be good against you because you like had to spend a card to Leyline. Fury still kills 2 creatures a lot of the time. I don't know. It's obviously like a fine option though. They can escape shift me. Can they? How? Like they only have 4 lands, so they can't go Dryad landscape shift. When they fire instead of ice? Yeah, I have Mark of Asylum in play. What a sick top deck. Let's add the second one to the board after this league. It says prevent all non-combat damage to be dealt to creatures you control, which is like I think an amazing sideboard card for elves. It's any red deck. Is this in my range of keepable 7-card hands on the play against an unknown opponent? I don't know. I think it is. I think that Heritage Druid is so good. It's very kind of land intensive though. I think it's close. It's obviously super close. This hand can definitely just get so much help from the top though. Oh, okay. So I keep forgetting to talk about this. So I was talking to a friend of mine like two RCQs ago. He's like, dude, I've been playing elves with what's the new card? It's the new card. New card, the one that gives all your elves Phyrexian mana. Defiler of Vigor. And it's like, and then also you get to Gavany Township every time you cast a green permanent spell. And he's like, dude, it's been sick. It's been so good. And I think it's an interesting option. It's an interesting option for sure. They're supposed to cast the Visionary first. I mean, the reality is like it's a 5-mana spell. It's a 5-mana spell, so like I think that you're not that often going to be casting Defiler Vigor and have like lots of cards to play after it to like grow your board. I think it's probably a win more card overall, but it is very interesting. And then it's also like one other suggestion with Defiler that is something I intend to explore a little bit further is we just talked about the card. It's the Great Henge. The Great Henge seems kind of sick in elves. Every time elves enters, draw a card, and then if you play Defiler, the Great Henge just costs one green, 1 colorless, because you can play a Phyrexian for the other one, which is kind of interesting. Really need to draw like a 1-mana elf here. Not sure what my opponent's doing. Seems pretty hard to get Grin Hedge for down a reasonable amount of mana. Yeah, I agree. I tried it in Pioneer with Steel Leaf Champion, but Steel Leaf Champion just sucks, and in Elves, just like not the game plan. Oh yeah. They also he was also wanting to play the Soul Sister Elf, the green one, to go with the Defiler. It just seemed like a little bit too win more, but I thought it was like very interesting tech. I thought it was very cool. There might be a good build of it. Silverback Elder. Remind me a card. What is my opponent just playing Creativity? If Elves already has very polarizing matchups, how do you fix the bad ones? Well, I mean, I think the way I've built the deck is like largely with that in mind. Like I'm trying to, I have Forge-Tender and Mark of Asylum. Dude, this was definitely not a hand that could afford to draw this many lands. I have Fortune or Mark of Asylum to deal with the red removal spells. I think for the most part, those matchups with red removal spells seem to be the hard matchups, and that is kind of my solution. Mark of Asylum, I think I'm going to play a second one, I think, for the next league. It just kind of single-handedly won us last match. But it's also like, there's a difference between fixing your bad matchups and like hedging for them. But the reality is, like, if you're playing Elves, you're not gonna be like a good deck against the red-based removal in the format. Like that is just always going to be something you're going to struggle with. There's like, I think that like a lot of the Elves players like really hyper focus on like building around the green ley line, and they really try to like hedge too much for the bad matchups. But you're going to beat them a solid percentage of the time because your deck's really powerful if you draw well, and you have some hate in the sideboard. Can maneuver well. All right, Mana Leak is back, baby. Too bad I didn't draw a Cavern. Although I'm only playing a couple, so I can facilitate the sideboard cards. It's possible I could be playing like one more Cavern though. Yeah, I haven't posted the Mono Black Pioneer list yet. I was really liking it on like Wednesday, Thursday. I won like 10 matches in a row. I was feeling great. My Friday testing was like pretty mid, but I was really liking it. And I just had like a non-tournament. I mean, I won 2 matches, and then I like had, one match where I lost like to very awkward mulligans, or just had to mulligan no landers, and then I lost to Lotus Field, which is, definitely not the deck you're trying to beat if you're registering black base mid-range deck in Pioneer. It was even like really close to, like, they had to draw like perfectly games 2-3 and did, which was tough too. Okay, let's sideboard though. Gonna bring in the Teeg. Gonna bring in the Forge-Tenders and the Mark of Asylum. I would say that there's like few feelings in Magic that is like more demoralizing. Oh, Spellskite's also really good this matchup. That's more demoralizing than just like playtesting really hard all week and just like having a non-tournament like that. If I was playing RC and Pioneer, I think you just gotta play mono green. Maybe. I mean, it is like definitely true though. Maybe trim it Ezuri. Just one as a core target. Let's try that. Like the reality is, like, especially like my local area, there's like a ton of like aggro decks that are like, incredibly popular to try to hedge against the good Chord of Calling hand to try to hedge against mono green. And like, I played at like a pretty big Pioneer RCQ at the same store like a month ago, and mono green did really badly because of the metagame. No, I don't have a secret account for testing. I don't know. It's not that serious, you know. All right, so I'll play the Warmasters to try to knock, you know, at least Dwynen's can get an elf if they have a bolt. Well, when the RCQ, I don't know. I bailed after I lost. The last Pioneer RCQ there, I got second place with Is It Creativity with Gearhulks. I lost to Rakdos in the finals against a really good good player with an Italian accent. I obviously I considered playing Creativity too, but I was really liking the mono black build. Black red one again. Yeah, well, yeah, Mingu's not out here traveling to Texas RCQs. It's not to my knowledge. Okay. Can only chord for one. I think I'm just going to cast the Realmwalker. What about Toolbox Cyber with Magus and Shalai? I mean, I think Shalai is kind of a goofy card, but Magus is like pretty reasonable. Yeah, RCQ unfortunately didn't go very well. It was like, I think of like all the RCQs I've played, it was just the one where I felt like my decisions mattered the least, which is weird because you would think it'd be probably Modern over Pioneer, but I just like, I think I had one kind of like tough mulligan decision that I ended up keeping a shaky 6 on the draw against Elves instead of going to 5, but my opponent had an incredibly good draw. I think I would have lost to it with almost any 5. Beyond that, it's just like I even like against my Lotus Field opponent, I won game 1. I drew games 2 and 3 as well as I possibly could have. My draws were so good. My deck was firing on all cylinders, and it just didn't matter because like that matchup is such a nightmare for the black base decks. So I think we can chord for 2 here if we want. If I untap if I just bounce the Forest, replay Forest, which means that I can chord for Spellskite in response to a Creativity potentially. They can only Creativity X equals 1, so chord for Spellskite. I think that I like that more than chord for Teeg here. Obviously, and we might just want to chord for something else too. Like it might be good to chord for the new 2-mana Lord here. This Visionary, Leaf Crown Visionary is in the deck, not Elvish Visionary. You don't have Wireward Symbiote in this format to bounce your Elvish Visionary, which makes it a lot worse. Yeah, so I was keeping this deck under wraps, which I play tested this deck so much. I really like it. I really like it. I thought about playing it today on stream. I just kind of like I'm a bit pioneered out, I feel, but maybe we'll play it tomorrow or something. But this was like the kind of the black base mid range deck that was like kind of metagame to beat Rakdos, because you know Rakdos won the RCQ. Rakdos was super popular at that store last time also. Rakdos was a super popular deck at that store last time I played at that store, like which was just a couple weeks ago. And so like being able to like main deck 4 Castle Lock Dwayne, 4 Field of Ruin, 4 Invoke Despair, and to like a lesser extent Sign in Blood, I think like made you pretty good against Rakdos, and then you had like a similar matchup spread as the into Ezuri. Let's go. I guess I don't have the mana to cast it. I'm one short. How's the green matchup for mono black? It's not amazing. Not amazing. Not as good as you would like it to be, but like the extinction events like do a ton of work post board, and I was also been really liking Pithing Needles against mono black. Like so, like I really like the formula of like needle their planeswalkers, extinction event their creatures in sideboard games. But game 1 definitely has felt really tough, which is not something I liked that much. But I thought was like kind of ultimately fine. I guess I should have. I guess they still attack now. I guess just not with the Quirion Ranger. I guess I can just regen the Quirion Ranger. Nah, it's just not attack with it. Yeah, do Cloudstone Curio. Sounds very fun. Sounds very fun. Fiend Artisan instead of Chord to get Umori as a companion. Chord is nuts. Chord is so good with the Dwynen's Elite Elvish Warmaster like plan that I have a hard time like not wanting to play Chord. Umori's cool. It's I think the chords are really, really good. They make your sideboard so much better. Again, with the Warmaster Elite plan, they're very nice on the curve. And you have so much card advantage with Visionary Realmwalker. It can be card advantage with one of those. Mana with Elvish Archdruid or whatever. Finding Heritage Druid more consistently, I think, is really important for the Leaf Count Visionary version. Obviously, also can find your Ezuri too. Only had one Ezuri in the deck post board. I think it's fine. Although maybe with the draw, I want one less Leaf Crown Visionary. It's kind of hard on the draw for this card to take over the game. Okay, this is kind of an exciting hand that could potentially chord for Heritage Druid and get double Nettle Sentinel, Heritage Druid, Realmwalker. So I'll definitely keep this. That being said, like I don't want to like I even think that I just don't say this nearly enough, but I don't want to give anybody the impression that I like think my way is infallible or that I'm definitely right. Like obviously, like I always have opinions, and my opinions are always based on experiences and play testing and like my personal card evaluations. And it's not like my opinions are not based on anything. But at the end of the day, they are always just opinions, and I can be wrong. I think I'm playing Nettle Sentinel over an elf here to be a bit better against Rin and 6. We can disagree. I think Elves has so many different ways to build it. Like I think it's incredibly unlikely I have the best 75, but I do feel pretty strongly at least about like Chord being really nice. Okay, somewhat straightforward line this turn. Gonna save the fetch line to maybe like scry with the Realmwalker. Okay, so next turn, what do? Do we go Llanowar Elves first? Then Chord for Heritage Druid? Oh, dude, they missed their land. Dingo, thank you for the raid. Hope you're having a good day, buddy. Appreciate you. Do we put our opponent on Mana Leak here? Leave a counter for number of times Fury is bonus out. Well, you can check that we're 3-0 in this league, so we haven't been blown out by Fury yet today. Okay, I think I'm just going to start off attack for 4 with the Sentinels. Attack for 4 with the Sentinels. Maybe bait Mana Leak on the Llanowar Elves, although I kind of doubt they ever Mana Leak this. Play land. Cast Mark of Asylum. See if that gets the Mana Leak. Okay, opponent's just F6. What did my opponent keep? Okay, that's good hedge against like future creativity, but yeah, this card I think this card's super good. The more I've been playing it, I'm like, why am I just playing one again? I'm like I know the first card's good. I have the Forge-Tenders, but I think I want to at least play the second one over the third Forge-Tender. And we're 4-0. And we're 4-0. Okay, new matchup. Definitely going to keep this hand. Not sure what we're leading on. I like the Magus Additional. I think that was really good. Ooh. Well, our league started against a Hammer Time opponent. A fitting way for it to end. Next turn, we have a very explosive turn. We can go Dwynen's Elite into Warmaster, Elves, Realmwalker, potentially. However, we won the die roll against Amulet the last time. Definitely seems like we might just be up against a turn 3. Turn 3 win. Seems like a very play-draw dependent matchup. Play-draw dependent hands. We also don't have our Magus yet. Let me do a mana traders trade. I think I like the Realmwalker here a little bit more than the Visionary, but I don't really think it matters that much. Kind of like the first match where they're just gonna kill us this turn, or probably gonna win next turn, you know. Avid Mind Sensor for this matchup in Scape Shift. I think I like the so we have a Teeg for Scape Shifts. Then we have Magus for this matchup. Mind Sensor is kind of cute though. I'm super dead, right? I guess they can't trigger Valakut that easily. I haven't been paying attention. I've been mana trading. Who cares, right? I'm either dead or I'm not. They can double Titan here. I'll, you know, we're 4 now. I'll make sure they get the job done. One of our earlier Amulet Titan opponent messed up and died to their Summer's packs. They dealt me 18. I blocked, went to 2. They had 7 mana after they double pacted. Yeah, they should be able to go get Valakut White Land, though. Or I guess any land's a White Land because of Dryad. Yeah, Valakut. So Valakut. Okay. We'll concede. Okay. Rex Sage, Force. Cutting Spellskites. Yeah, maybe we're just down 2 of the card advantage cards. Just try to be faster. I know this is not exactly what I did last time. Although I really like Realmwalker more than Visionary. So maybe we play 3 Realmwalker, 1 Visionary. The Magus. Did I add Magus to the board? I added it in the middle of a league. You don't get the new tech in the middle of a league. We have to go to the next league, right? Isn't tomorrow a modern BNR update? Is that a real thing, or is I heard that Doom posted something, but like, you know, Doomwake has been posting a lot lately about disliking modern. I didn't know if that was real. No, Mark, not against Titan. I know it subs the Valakuts, but I think you just want to be faster. It's real? Okay, that's super exciting. So we go Elvish Mystic into Warmaster, Heritage Druid, Archdruid, likely have a turn 3 kill. I literally put a copium in the tweet. It's stuff not real. Okay, thanks, Doom. I kind of figured it wasn't real. Okay, Doom, you get to ban only 20 cards from the current modern. What 20 are you picking? You only get to ban 20, though. Yeah, there are Pauper bans today. I don't know. Pauper seems kind of fun, but like, I dislike how impossible it seems to keep up with Pauper as a format. You know what I mean? It seems like a format that, like, I think that ideally decks would be like changing kind of rarely because of, you know, how like I think the whole idea behind the format is you don't have to buy a lot of new decks all the time. You could just play the same thing on because it's a budget format. And the fact that it's just like the format changes so constantly, just like it's always, you know, nutty changing nonstop is something I really dislike. Like modern, it's yeah, like modern. I think it's bad that Pauper is like modern and the fact that it changes all the time. I think it would be better if it was a format that changed a lot slower because it's a budget format. It's like intentionally a budget format, right? I don't know. Again, everybody's got their own Their own takes, huh? All right, I guess I'm just gonna go Heritage Druid, Archdruid, attack. Modern's definitely changed its image too. Like I feel like I should think that like the fact that standard sets have like added like small supplemental additions like very consistently every standard rotation, I think it's been really good. Isn't that a problem with last year's design philosophy for commons? Well, I don't know. Like the thing is, it's like it's so like how realistically can Wizards design around Pauper? You know, maybe they can, but for me, it seems like an incredibly like difficult ask to pretend like Wizards can just like design around Pauper super well. Likely have my opponent dead with Ezuri here, right? So I can go 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Yeah, it should be hella dead. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, I thought I had this untapped for some reason. Uh-oh. I think I have messed up this line. I think I messed this up. Yeah, maybe just activate Warmaster was lethal. I don't want Wizards design around those more niche formats, Commander included. Well, I've got bad news for you. Commander is the most popular format in Magic, and it's not close. It makes no sense for Wizards to not design around it. Yeah, sorry I messed that up really bad. Thoughts on adding second Ranger for extra speed? You can play a second Ranger. Okay, awesome. They just don't have a hand. You can play a second Ranger. Ranger's pretty good. You can play it over the spellscreen too. I would imagine that Commander is more popular than Modern, Standard, Pioneer, Legacy, Pauper combined. How do we know these metrics? I mean, it's Wizards post data sometimes, but I know that us as Modern players are somewhat in a bubble. But dude, EDH is like a mainstream format. Like, it's just like people when people play Magic, like casual people think of Magic, they think of Commander, and they don't play other formats. They just play Commander. You know what I mean? It's like yeah. People who don't play Magic play EDH. You know what I mean? Like they're not into Magic. They have an EDH deck, and when they feel like playing Magic, that's the format that they play. Yeah. It's not even remotely close. Commander is so incredibly popular. I'm actually building a Commander deck, but I get the appeal somewhat. Designing for EDH every set has made the format considerably worse. I think that like that's why I don't really like Legacy very much, is because of all the Commander sets entering Legacy. I think it'll be really good for the health of Legacy if you just like kept Commander products out of Legacy, and like it's kind of always been like this with like True Name, Leovold, you know. Like at least for Modern Horizons, like these cards are designed for the most part. Some of them are obviously Commander cards, but for the most part they are designed for 60 card formats at least, you know. Leovold was Conspiracy. Yeah, I guess that's right. That's right. Kind of the same thing though. I still don't understand this concept of Horizon sets. I don't know. For me, I feel like the Horizon sets have been great for Modern. I know the player base is really divided on them, but I think that I've gone on this rant so many times. I'm not like super interested in doing the whole thing again, but like I think that people look at Modern with way too much nostalgia. Modern has been a broken format for like the last 8 years or something like that. It's just been a format with like no consistency, incredibly linear, non-interactive decks dominating the format for like the majority of the last 8 years, with new like busted standard sets breaking the format every few months. And I I just don't. I just think that people look at old Modern with too much nostalgia, and I think Modern is better than it's been. It's been more consistent than it's been, and I think the Horizon sets like have stabilized it and given it like a more consistent power level. And I think that I even think that the elementals are incredibly important. These 0 mana spells are incredibly important to keep the format balanced, because if not, you're gonna have you know, those hype like Hammer Time is such an absurd deck if Solitude's not in the format. Same thing with Titan. If Solitude's not in the format, both those decks thrive so much. And I guess I'm getting a bit rambly, but okay, pretty clear Warmaster here. I feel like the Horizons. I personally think the Horizon sets were great for the format. If you disagree, that's okay. But you know, you can complain in a different Twitch chat. Nah, fuck Fury. Yeah, I understand. I understand. The Horizon. People also hear this, right? This is I say this a lot, and nobody ever hears it. I feel the Horizon sets were not perfect. The Horizon sets were not perfect sets. There were problems with them, especially Modern Horizons 1. Urza Saga, Ragavan are not well designed. I think you could probably have tuned down Fury somewhat, you know, maybe a lot somewhat. They're not perfect sets, but I think that they to me they stabilized the format. They stabilized a format that has never been stable or consistent in 10 years. Okay, explosives on 2. All right, double interactive spell, pretty tough. The Zeus is very scary also, of course. Okay, let's go. Druid, Elites, Elf, Ranger, activate, untap, bounce. Yeah, I will say that, like, I think for the most part, like, we could move on from the conversation, actually. It is also like totally okay for you guys to dislike Modern Horizon sets. Like, a lot of the player base do. You're not wrong for disliking them. I'm not wrong for liking them. That's the thing about Magic. Everybody has different things they like. There's other formats besides Modern if you just hate Modern, but my chat box is also not your complaint box. I'm having a good time. I feel like Modern is very fun to me. And I just can't take the same tired takes every single day. Something like this could Modern deck. Did you do a deck tech, Ponzo? I'm tempted to click on it because I'm just like, my opponent's tanking. I'm against Amulet. Omnath at home. I mean, you should be playing Omnath Leyline Binding. As much as I love Soul of Wind Grace, I feel like it's a little lost here. Omnath is like a win condition in that deck, and like lets you hardcast your Chancellors. It's sick. I don't think it does very much there. Singing time? Yeah, I haven't been looking at chat as much as I should. Okay, I do have to sing the next card. Okay, just sing it now. Okay, I'll just sing it now before I forget. Elvish Archdruid. Okay, so this is their... They've played all their land drops so far. They tutor up Dryad of Elysian Grove. They tutor up Primeval Titan. They get 1 extra land drop. I'm not sure that I'm dead. I would assume my opponent's dead if they spend all that time thinking, though. Maybe I've miscounted their land drops. I don't think so, though. So they cast their Titan. Dude, are we going to win twice? Are we going to win twice because my opponent... Also, I could untap something with Quirion Ranger here. But are we going to win twice because my opponents just, like, don't have 8 mana for their packs? How does my opponent get 8 mana next turn? I'm at 18. I'm at 18. I just take exactly 18, right? Fuck. Yeah. Unless they have the Vesuva in their hand. Wait, they do have Vesuva in their hand, don't they? Or that was last game? That was last game that they Vesuva. Okay. Would have been a nice trophy, huh? Ouphe got a deck tech. Let me open these chests real quick, and then we're also going to.